Good morning, El Paso, and welcome to this your El Paso podcast, AMP El Paso. This is Angel, and I just realized that when I posted the podcast last week, I actually forgot to include any of my social media or any way how to find it on social media. I didn't put out any information, any like Twitter handles, anything on Facebook, YouTube. So I'm going to start off with that today. Pretty much the um, the at that you're going to find the podcast as is at AMP EPTX, and that actually goes pretty much across all the social media accounts that I have for the podcast, and those are Twitter, of course, just because Twitter I feel is a lot easier and faster. That's also Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Again, that is at AMP EPTX. That is at AMP EPTX. So yeah, since I forgot to do those last week, I just putting out a podcast that, hey, just good luck in finding it. So I figured that's what I should start off, and that's actually what I should also end up with. Just reminding everybody how to get on the social media. That way they could find it, and that way you could get out and find the events that I'm talking about every week, which is, I think I'm going to stick for now on events going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for this week, which is the week of September the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. That is Thursday the 5th, Friday the 6th, Saturday, September 7th, and Sunday, September 8th. I feel like there's a lot of stuff to do at the beginning of the weekend, and then towards Sunday it kind of dies down a little bit, and it's actually kind of nice because the weather. I'm pretty sure most of you've noticed the weather started to kind of cool down just a little bit. The nights are actually kind of cool now, which that everybody's thankful for that, I think, because we've all been running our ACs pretty much straight through the summer, and if you didn't, well, I know that's rough. Every summer is the same here in El Paso. We get a couple weeks where it's really, really hot, and then the rest of the summer is still pretty hot, and then winters are actually pretty nice. We don't really get much of a winter. I'm thinking maybe this winter is going to be hopefully pretty nice. I'm planning on doing some snowboarding this winter. I've never been, so it'll be something nice for the podcast. That way we could learn together. How's that? And I've always been interested in doing some snowboarding, some winter sports, whatever that may be. But yeah, the one that I've always wanted to try has been snowboarding. And here in El Paso, we actually have a couple places that are not too far to go, but I'll leave that for my events for the winter. So yeah, like I said, this week it seems like there's still a lot of events going on. A lot of events going on Friday, Saturday, and then Sundays just seems like more of a chill kind of day. But still, it's a lot to do. It's a lot of fun, people going out and stuff. I actually did go out to a couple of these events that I talked about last week. I was here over the weekend, and I was actually able to enjoy some of that a little bit. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I don't know how your week might have been going. There's still, listening to some of the news here around Texas. It's always kind of rough to get some bad news whenever we're here. But this podcast is, I guess, to try to distract people from the things that are going on, and people just encourage people to go out, have some fun, and be safe. So yeah, that's pretty much what what this whole podcast is about. And this is barely the third episode of this, so I'm just barely getting started. Barely, you'll probably notice from if you're trying to find on social media that you will not find me on social media just because how slow I'm kind of taking this, and I'm taking it week by week. It's a growing process. Maybe I'll look back on this eventually when I'm a pro at this, and hopefully I'll have learned some stuff. So yeah, it's already Wednesday, and this is gonna come out probably Wednesday night, and you'll probably hopefully be able to listen to it Thursday, and hopefully start going out to some of these events going on. So again, just to remind you about the social media, pretty much across all social media, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, and Facebook, you can find the podcast at AMP EPTX. That's AMP El Paso, Texas, obviously. But yeah, so I'm starting to get a hang of all the social media, and that's going to be pretty much the way to get me on social media. And I'm still thinking about hashtags. I don't know exactly what would be a kind of a short and easy hashtag to use that would be able to be linked to the podcast. So for now, I think I'm just going to use hashtag at AMP El Paso. Maybe that'll be a good hashtag. But yeah, we'll see. At least, like I said, I'm getting a hold of all the social media, barely. And like I said, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a long process, and it'll be slow, just because I'm pretty good at social media, but I'm not the best. And I know with the whole thing, the whole premise of this podcast being a millennial, I should actually have a pretty good grasp on this, which I do. It's just I'm not so used to it. I mean, I have my own personal social media things, and I'm not too I guess vocal. I don't know, active on those. But this is gonna help me out. This is definitely helping me out because I'm giving it priority. I mean, I'm giving priority to the podcast. It's something that I'd wanted to do for a long time, and just starting now, I feel like that's probably better. But yeah, I know I'm not very active on my own personal social media, which actually I'll probably be more active on these all the social media for the podcast. So yeah, just to remind you, at AmpEPTX. All right, so check it out. Follow me because I have no followers whatsoever. So go ahead and start following me, and I'll start tweeting out some more stuff. I'll start tweeting out some of the pictures of the events that we've been to, and all that good stuff. Especially with the cooler days heading over, we got all the holidays and all that good stuff going around. It's always nice to see all the pictures and just be out there and enjoy some of the upcoming holidays that are going on, and have some fun, go out and see some stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna go ahead and get started this week with August, or with Thursday. That's September the 5th. That's Thursday, September the 5th. And I didn't find too many. I mean, it's probably better if I would have just started Fridays, but I wouldn't want to leave out some stuff that's going on Thursdays. Some people, nowadays everybody has such different schedules that, I mean, people's weekends are, hey, people always say my weekend, my weekend, and it's a Tuesday or something. But, maybe they work Thursday through Monday or something, so their only free days are Tuesday and Wednesday. Or some people I know have split days off, so it's maybe your, whatever, you have your Sunday and Thursday off. So yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why. Maybe just include Thursday on there. And I don't know about including Monday. Monday, everybody hates Mondays. But I don't know. Maybe when you guys start listening to this a little bit more, start picking up a little more traction, it'll be more clear what days and what events to kind of highlight what days in specifically. But yeah, for now, it just seems like Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the big hitters. So I guess I'll probably just stick with that. And for the time being, I'm adding Thursday. There's a couple things going on Thursdays, pretty much every week. So yeah. So for Thursday, September the 5th, a couple things that I have is starting at 7:30. We're gonna have the comic strip. We're gonna have comedian Darren Carter. I actually have heard of Darren Carter a few times. I've actually listened to some of his stand up, and he's actually pretty good. He I think from what I heard is he was a white dude that grew up in like a predominantly Hispanic community, so he was always kind of like the white guy hanging out with the Mexican community, like the Latinos and all that. So yeah, that's the first one that we have, and that's Thursday at the comic strip, not Comic Con, at the comic strip. That's Darren Carter, and that's 7:30. And tickets at the comic strip are usually go somewhere around the $20 range, but it's always a good time. The couple times that I've been there in the past few months, it's always a fun time. I know I listen to a lot of comedians, and I do listen to a lot of other podcasts, and one of my favorite podcasts always says that people are getting a little sensitive, I guess. But if you are going to a comic show, I mean, you have to expect for it to be a little. I mean, it doesn't have to. People don't have to be that delicate. Just take a joke. So yeah, that's Thursday at the comic strip, 7:30. And also on Thursday, I think this is the only other event that I have for Thursday, and that is going to be going on at Speaking Rock Casino, and they have a band, and on here it says that it's like a pop rock kind of group, but I actually listened to some of this. I went on their YouTube and just typed in, and the band is at the Speaking Rock Casino, and the band is called Frecuencia, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be said in English or Spanish. From what I got on YouTube, it's kind of like a cumbia kind of band. So on this translation thing, I don't know why it says pop and rock music group. I know they do some of the more poppy songs, but they do it with like something that you could dance to, a beat that you could dance to it. So I mean, to me, it just sounded more like a cumbia kind of group. And again, that's Frecuencia, and then they're going to be going at the Speaking Rock Casino also on Thursday. And that's actually the only two things that I do have for Thursday. But it's still something to do on Thursday. For some reason, I feel like this weekend there's a lot of dancing going on, which it's nice. I mean, I think if you like dancing and everything, go out there and get yourself dressed up and go out and have some fun. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to Friday. Friday, September the 6th. This one is the one that I just barely came into, and that's going to be, actually it was the one that I found. My girlfriend told me about it. It's going to be Balloon Fest. I have never been to Balloon Fest just because I'm never in town during Balloon Fest. But that's going to start. From what I heard, it doesn't technically start Friday. Most things that they do on Friday, I think it's for the guys that I guess the guys that fly the balloons. I don't know. I don't know any of the terminology about balloons or hot air balloons. So I'm really the worst at this one. But this it starts Friday, and I don't really know exactly what they do, but from what I did read up a little bit on it, is that Friday is basically for the sponsors and the people. I'm guessing it's people that organize it, and they do charge for it. It says here tickets are from $10 to $20. But yeah, I mean, from what I was able to read, it pretty much actually, I mean, for me, to somebody that would just go and enjoy all the, like, I'm guessing they have music, and you get, I mean, obviously you get to look at the balloons and everything, but I guess that would start on Saturday for me. And I mean, I know from what I know about hot air balloons, it has to be cool outside. So I know they start super early, and then maybe the balloons start coming down maybe around 1 noon or 1 probably. Like I said, I don't really know much about balloons, hot air balloons. I do need to go out to this one, but I'm not going to be in town. So it's going to be starting at 6, like starting at 6 a.m. So I'm guessing that's going to be the people that actually fly the balloons. The one thing I do know about balloons, it has to be cold outside. It helps them go up easier or something. And that's actually going on Saturday and Sunday. Well, it's Friday evening. It's for the organizers. Saturday in the morning at 7 a.m. And also Sunday. And it says here that it ends at 11 p.m. So that's going to be going on literally all weekend. So yeah, but that's the one that I did go up to first on the. It was the last one that I saw just because I didn't know. Usually, I actually do hear it on Kelly Q. I always hear all the commercials about Balloon Fest, and for some reason this year I don't know if it was on their end or what. Maybe I don't know, sponsorships. But I actually didn't hear a lot about it on Kelly Q. But yeah, it's still going on this whole weekend if you're going to go out to the White Sands park there. All right, so then also on Friday, and Friday, a lot of people are working. It's payday for whatever week you get paid. For most people, Friday's payday. So that's also why I feel, just the weekends are the big ones even if your days off are in the middle of the week, chances are you probably get paid Fridays. So that it just seems obvious, right? To go out and do some stuff on the weekends. The next one that I have here is going to be the farmers market at the fountains. And that one usually, I know no, Friday is not. It's Saturday. I know they also show movies. And I had that one. Actually, I don't even think. I know that they had a movie, and it was a big movie too. But I already took it out of my notes here, but I know Saturdays also. So, but right now, let's stick to Friday. So Friday, starting at 5, it's the farmers market at the fountains. And, everybody knows where the fountains are. Right there, right off of I-10. Is this still Hawkins? I don't know if there's still construction going on there. For some reason, it seems like construction is on and off there. I think it's already done with. But yeah, at the fountains, it's going to be the evening farmers market. And also right here, the El Paso EPCC, the Valle Verde campus at 6 p.m. is going to have Jazz at Sunset. And it's pretty much just a little jazz concert that's going to be hosted at the Valle Verde campus for EPCC. And that one's going to start at 6 and it's going to go down toward 11. The address for if you don't know where the Valle Verde campus is, it's EPCC. And if you just Google that, the address is 919 Hunter Drive. And, just go out there to get some nice jazz music, some cool jazz music. I would assume that people might be out there maybe dancing a little bit. I don't know where it is at. I don't know what kind of venue they have in there, or hall, or if it's some sort of theater. But still, maybe if you go out and listen to some jazz, it'd be pretty nice. And also here, I also have that the comic strip is also going to have Darren Carter also on Friday. And that's going to start 7:30 as well. And then I have the next one is actually, this next event should be something that actually follows specifically what this podcast is, and that's going to be the Taming of the Shrew, and that's going to be at the Forum Theater. That starts at 8 p.m. And yeah, I mean, if you don't know of the Taming of the Shrew, is pretty much a I mean, just a play, I guess. And there's actually been a bunch of movies that have been made with the same premise of it and just adapted to modern, I guess, modern culture. And I know there's a couple movies. I think it was, I guess it's an older movie now, but I mean, if you're a millennial, chances are you probably saw it on TV. And it was I think it's 10 Things I Hate About You. And I think that's the one that was, it's pretty much the same story of the Taming of the Shrew, but just, I mean, obviously with like 90s characters and everything. And, it's just a Shakespeare play. And, if you heard the Taming of the Shrew, nobody uses those specific words in that order. So chances are, Taming of the Shrew, you probably know what it is. And chances are you probably heard about it or maybe read about it in high school or something. And then we move on from that to go to some music going on. And that's going to be Speaking Rock. Speaking Rock has, every week they just have a bunch of different bands. I saw somebody posting, I was looking through my events on Facebook for on the website or on the Facebook page. And I did go on to the Speaking Rock page, and I heard that they said somebody was talking about how this past weekend, if you listened to the podcast last week, was they talked about they had the Banda Limon, and it was like a banda group. I mean, I'm not a big fan, but if you're gonna go out and just go see live music, it's always kind of nice. And it is, for the people that do like it and do like that kind of dancing and everything, that's fine. That's, everybody has their own preferences. And what I saw was that they have a bunch of different bands. I mean, they had, I think they bring Bug Cherry every year, and they had Rat a couple weeks ago, and they have the POD. They have a bunch of rock bands coming up. And then last week they had that Latin, like cumbia music. And I saw a comment on their Facebook, and somebody was complaining how you guys only have that Mexican music now. It's not, what happened to all the rock bands, and why don't you guys have big shows for rock music? And the Speaking Rock actually was responding to them or something, and I think my girlfriend's the one that showed it to me, where Speaking Rock, whoever does their social media, was actually responding to them. It's like, hey, we just had a couple rock bands. It's not our fault if you just want. I mean, I understand from their point. I mean, obviously from their point of a venue and having all the diversity and everything, they obviously just cannot play just rock every single week, every single day, because you're going to alienate a lot of the people that are actually there to go that want to go to the casino. And from what I've seen in casinos all over the country, it's always like a sure audience, or a sure people that walk into the casinos are older people. And I mean, there's only so many old school people that do like their rock, like their old hair metal bands and like heavy metal or hard rock from back in the day. But not everybody, you see all these little grandmas and little grandpas walking around there. You can't have just all this rock. Because you're just gonna turn a lot of your, I guess, your patrons. You're just gonna turn them away. I just thought it was funny, but because from the point of view of a casino or just any kind of venue, you're open to have a different variety, And if you just don't want to go to a certain concert, you could just wait for one that's gonna be, almost for sure it's gonna be some kind of a concert that you like. But yeah, that was a little detour onto when I was talking about Speaking Rock, and that's just because I do have I kind of have it's not really a history, but I lived around speaking for my whole life, around Speaking Rock, and I always heard different kinds of bands, so it was just funny how one specific person and just their social media, that person actually responded. But yeah, so this weekend, this Friday, at 8:30, they're gonna have at Speaking Rock, they're gonna have Sonora Escándalo, and that's gonna be over here on the Lower Valley. Sonora Escándalo, that's what they're gonna have, and they're gonna have also a Broken Dime. So I'm pretty sure that's a similar band. And if you're on the west side as well, at the Sunland Park, they're also gonna have a banda. So actually, it's actually not banda. It's actually cumbias, and that's gonna be there at the Sunland Park Casino and also at 8:30, and that's gonna be it's what they have titled it is Noche de Sonoras. So if you want to get out late Friday, well, actually not late. It's 8:30. That's really not too late. But if you're gonna go out do some dancing, there's a couple places where you don't have to drive too far, depending on what side of town you are. Especially because you don't want to be out drinking and driving and doing all that. But both sides of town are gonna have pretty big events of cumbias, so you could be dancing and you don't have to drive very far. So it's gonna be at Sunland Park. That's gonna be Noche de Sonoras, and at Speaking Rock, that's gonna be Sonora Escándalo and Broken Dime Band. And I think that's going to be, that's pretty good to end up your night on Friday, September the 6th. So if you're not one of those people that goes out and dances and stays up all night, or maybe you are, maybe you're one of those people that likes to burn the candle at both ends, and you go out to dance and stay out to maybe 2 a.m. or 3, and then you like to wake up early on Saturdays. I don't know why you would do that. Get home at 3 and crash and wake up at 6 or 7 in the morning. But if you do, there is actually going to be a fitness walk and run, and that's going to be right there at Sunrise Park. And actually, I'm not too sure who's organizing this. I think it's the city of El Paso, and that's going to be at Sunrise Park. And it's it's just a 5K health, fitness, run and walk. And I was looking at the map here. And Sunrise Park, if it's just right there off of 54, if you're coming south on 54, get off on Hercules and then turn right. There's going to be, the address for the park is Sunrise Park. And it's actually pretty close to 54. Saturdays in the morning, I know there's not a lot. I know for a fact there's not a lot of people out on the roads here. But yeah, that's gonna start at 7 in the morning. It is a $10 entry fee, but if you're gonna go exercise, chances are you're doing it for a good cause. You're being healthy, so that's something we all need. I know I should be out there running or at least walking. But yeah, it's going to be going on from 7 to 9, and that's a 5. Well, I'm guessing it's not 7 to 9 specifically. 5 kilometers, I think that's that's just about 2.5 miles. So that's 2 hours, but I'm guessing they're going to wait up until some of the last people are there. But the schedule that they do have there is from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and the entry fee is $10. But if the whole run and walk thing is not really your thing, we also have, it's perfect weather right now. It's beautiful just to be out at farmers markets. And I know this is just what I'm going to fall into, and I don't want this podcast to just be about farmers markets, but it's something, it's nice. It's something different. Personally, I like to also go to flea markets, swap meets, and all that good stuff. Every once in a while, I actually picked up one of my favorite things at the Escárate flea market a long time ago. Well, it was actually maybe about a year or so ago. And I actually picked up one of these vintage cassette players. And it was the old boom boxes, the ones that they had on your shoulders and the ones that you could see out. Well, it is too old for my generation, I think, but we always grew up seeing it in shows and movies. But what I picked up was one of those old boom boxes, like the old Sanyo with the 2 speakers and the little cassette deck in the middle. And that's one of the reasons why I love going to those things. You just find little things like that. But again, that's not really a farmer's market. That's more of a flea market thing. And like I said, I don't want this whole thing to just be farmers markets, but you do find a lot of pretty neat things. You find every once in a while you'll find some foreign foods that are pretty nice. Just so you could expand, I guess, your mind to other things. Because being here in the borderland, we all eat tacos and gorditas, burritos, all that good stuff. And I mean, I'm guilty of that because all that stuff's delicious. But we had some. I think we went to the Upper Valleys last week, and we had some Argentinian food, I think. And it was. I mean, it was okay. It was good food, and we were trying something new. So I guess now we're gonna get Saturdays, Sundays. I've always said it, and I've started to say it in the podcast. Saturdays and Sundays are just good days for farmers markets. They're also good days for flea markets. In El Paso, we have a few that are pretty nice that I like. So at 7 in the morning, these guys actually do start pretty early, and that's going to be the farmers market at Ardovino's Desert Crossing. And if you just Google the address, it's 1 Ardovino. I think I had that last week. That's pretty much the earliest one. They're also going to be having the one going on downtown. That one does start a little bit later at 9 a.m. in case you stayed out too late on Fridays. That's going to be going on downtown at the Union Plaza starting at 9. And let me see. And this is actually one that I saw on Facebook that my girlfriend actually brought it up to me. And it's a Magic Morning Market. Let me see. And that's actually going to be going on at 5034 Donovan, Placita Santa Fe. And they're going to be starting... this one starts at 9 as well. And that's going to be over, obviously. Donovan, that's going to be going on at the west side. And I think that one is also a weekly one. It says here that they have them going on Saturdays up until December. So yeah, it's going to be Magic Morning. And I think I saw that they had probably not. They had a list of all the vendors, I thought. Yeah, probably. I don't know where I saw it. But yeah, I do know that they're gonna. It's a Magic Morning Market, and that one, like I said, I tried to find different sources. That one I found it on Facebook. So if you just go on Facebook and look for Magic Morning Market, you're gonna find it, and that's gonna be going on the west side as well. Donovan at 9 in the morning. And then after farmers markets, you could usually go back home, rest up a little bit, take a load off at your house or whatever, and then try to find things to probably do later on that night. And on Saturday, starting going back out at 5, if you're going to be on the west side, there are Sunland Park racetrack and casino. They're also going to have a tequila and margarita festival kind of thing. And I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. It's if you like drinking, if you like margaritas, if you want to do some shots, that's gonna be your thing right there. It's it's pretty self-explanatory. You're at the casino, and there's gonna be tequila. There's gonna be a margarita. Also, since it's September, we're gonna start having Oktoberfest, and I have still yet to realize how Oktoberfest starts or is in September. From one thing that I heard a long time ago was that it's pretty much leading up to October, but I have no idea. So German pub is gonna have their Oktoberfest, and this one looks like it's gonna be a pretty big kind of thing. They're going to have a bunch of vendors, a lot of, I guess, games and stuff out there. They're going to have, of course, all the German beers. And they have 3 different ticket prices, starting like at $30, going down to $10. And I think for the more expensive ones, they'll give you those, what is it, a Das Boot? Is that the big boots, full of beer? And then, obviously, for more money, it's a bigger meal and all that. And that's going to be going on at the German pub, 9530 Viscount. And that's also going to be going on Saturday, starting at 6:30. And then also, again, this is the one that I came up, and that's because I know a lot of moms like this guy. And the Plaza Theater is going to be having Mijares. I think his name is Manuel Mijares, I think. And if you're here in the borderland, chances are your mom is a big fan of this guy. Maybe if you're fallen in my generation, you're probably a fan of him. I'm not, because like I said, I always thought that dude was more of a like a mom kind of artist. But yeah, it's gonna be that. But also, they're also gonna be at the Abraham Chavez Theater. We are also having something for that my generation certainly likes, and that's gonna be Café Tacuba, and that's gonna be going on at the Abraham Chavez at 8 p.m. So you got something that you could send your mom or your parents out to the show, and you could head on out to Café Tacuba at the Don Haskins and have a good time out there. At a couple concerts. But if you don't want to make such a big thing, or I don't know, tickets are always the thing, and I don't really look at the ticket websites just because we all know how that goes. We all know pretty much where to find our tickets and everything, and it's pretty simple if you just Google the event and tickets. But again, if you're going to be something closer, maybe something a little smaller, their Speaking Rock is also going to be having on Saturday a tribute band. They usually have tribute bands. They're usually pretty good tribute bands. And this Saturday they're going to be having Depeche Mode at Speaking Rock, and that's also starting at 8. In Speaking Rock, it's usually free, and you could get to drink. And like I said, the bands are, most of the time, they're pretty good. Also on Saturday, if you're a fan of the theater and everything, which I know I have a few people that are fans of theater. There's also they're going to be having a showing of the Taming of the Shrew, if that's also your thing, at the Forum Theater. And that's pretty much all for Saturday. Things to go out, some concerts, definitely more concerts. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for pretty much your whole day, to go out in the morning, stay home, maybe have some lunch at your house, and then go out at night. And then Saturday, that's going to be Saturday, September the 8th. There's also going to be that Upper Valley Farmers Market that, if you start going out there, you find the same things that you would find at a farmer's market, which are pretty nice. There's also going to be like a matinee show of the same show, The Taming of the Shrew, at the Forum Theater. That's going to be at 2:30 in the afternoon. And at night, to kind of close down your weekend, is going to be, I think that might be the last night of Darren Carter at the comic strip. So there it is. There you have it. Pretty much your weekend. Some things starting on Thursday, ending up on your Sunday night. All your events going on that weekend. Don't forget, again, I'm going to start trying to be more active on my social medias. That's going to be YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, and Facebook. And pretty much straight across all those, you'll find the podcast at AMP-EPTX. At AMP-EPTX. That's your AMP El Paso. So yeah, hopefully you'll have a good week. Go out, be safe, look out after each other, don't drink and drive, and all that good stuff. And start enjoying some of this little bit of cooler weather that we're getting into. Just because I know I liked it. I mean, it's actually nice during the day now. It's tolerable to just be outside. So yeah, just go out, have some fun, enjoy your time out there, have a good weekend, be safe, and I'll talk to you guys next week.